You hear "love that chicken" and think Louisiana comfort. But before that first bite, ask this: what happens when the fryer oil looks like motor oil yet the chicken still comes out golden? You are about to see why appearance wins over safety, and why that matters for your health and your wallet. Let's start with what inspectors keep flagging: unsafe holding temps, cross-contamination, incomplete hand washing. Then we pull back the curtain on the biscuits, the marinades, and the rehydrated sides that prop up the brand story. Stay with me because the red flags add up fast. Quick favor before we move on: if you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great! Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. If the sign screams Louisiana Kitchen, why do so many inspection logs read like a hazard checklist?
Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen got its start in the early 1970s in New Orleans. Founder Al Copeland grew up poor in the Big Easy.
The big story over the past 30 or 40 years has been the rise of chicken consumption. Chicken went in the late 1970s from being a minority meat, at least relative to beef and pork. Particularly in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of concern among consumers about the consumption of fat and cholesterol.
Organizations like the World Health Organization and the U.S. Department of Health have linked red meat with cancer and heart disease.
That clash matters for you, not just the brand's vibe. The story sells steamy kitchens and handed-down spice blends. The line sells speed, sameness, and shelf life. One is a porch swing. The other is a stopwatch. Let's start with the ad myth. You get grandma's recipe, slow-cooked pride, and a wink about tradition. But a typical shift runs on timers, thaw schedules, and hold times. Staff chase numbers on screens. Managers chase drive-through minutes. The goal is uniform, fast, repeatable. Flavor is engineered to survive transport and heat lamps, not to sing fresh off a stove. Now the real kicker. An Ontario meat safety lawsuit put a dent in the story of purity and care. No names, no numbers here. What matters is what it signals.
In New Orleans, it's a culture. Popeyes is a culture in New Orleans. From football with the Saints to LSU to Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is one of our biggest times of the year. Well, I've been doing this for over 30 years. So if I can look at Popeyes and I can see the crust, and I can see the kernels popping off the chicken, and then when you bite into it, it's that flavor because it hits you all at once. They never have lunch with the other group, never. And they'll do their part, and they'll slide their ingredients, what they completed, over to the next group, and then they finish it. So it's a big secret. So you cannot.
Image does not guarantee integrity. Regulators noticed, inspectors notice, and when you scan those citations, they don't describe a cast iron pot and a wooden spoon. They describe a line that slips on rules we rely on to keep food safe. Walk down that line. Biscuits don't start as flour and fat. They arrive as frozen dough pucks, ready to bake. After the oven, they catch a brush of margarine dressed up to taste like butter. That shine looks homey. It's staged. The chicken, pre-treated in sodium solutions so it stays juicy after a long sit. That is moisture management, not heritage. It protects texture under heat lamps but trades away the promise of scratch cooking. Here's where the safety math kicks in. Hot holding is supposed to keep food above a safe threshold. Dip under that and bacteria can multiply fast. Think of it like a toll road with no gate. Once that barrier drops, traffic pours through. Cross-contamination is the quiet partner to temp abuse. Raw drips on a prep table. Shared tongs jump from raw to cooked. Gloves touch a trash bin, then a bun because the glove itself started to feel like a magic shield. It is not. It is just plastic. Sides repeat the theme. Red beans and rice often begin as dehydrated flakes that get rehydrated on site. Jambalaya shows up as a mix for a steam tray. On the tray they look the part: color, bits, sheen, but the bite is thin and slightly rubbery, more like a staged set than a lived-in room. It fills the container and fills the brand story at the same time.
Popeyes nearly doubled its Twitter followers to 180,000. More importantly, the company saw sales surge almost 10% as stores opened more than a year in the third quarter of 2019. One analyst estimated that while in stock, Popeye sold about 1,000 chicken sandwiches per store a day, and that the sandwiches alone accounted for 30% of sales, compared to less than 1% growth in the same period the year prior. With lines out the door about 2 weeks after the launch, the chain ran out of chicken sandwiches.
Oil deserves its own minute. Dark, tired fryer oil still turns food golden. That is the trap. Color lies. When oil breaks down, it leaves off flavors and can form compounds you don't want as a side dish. Some stores stretch oil by topping it up, which slows the color shift but not the wear and tear. Good oil management means frequent filtration and full swaps. What you see is a crisp crust. What you taste might be a stale, bitter note that points to oil past its best. Now pull the camera tight. Watch the line during a rush. Gloves stay on like Lucky Charms, moving from cash drawer to sandwich build. Hand washing gets rushed or skipped when the sink is far or the tickets are stacked. Cooked chicken lands under the heat lamp and coasts, the clock slipping while the surface stays warm enough to fool you. The log sheet looks tidy later, but the timing in the moment told a different story. So here is the payoff. That Ontario case underscores why standards exist, to keep the meat chain clean and accountable.
At the peak of the chicken sandwich wars, the chains collectively had over 10 million visitors.
We launched our great tasting chicken sandwich last year in August. Then, as you well know, we had to pull it back.
By November 2019, the Popeye's chicken sandwich, made of a chicken breast filet hand batter and breaded in buttermilk coat and served on a brioche bun with either spicy or regular mayo, was back in action. As of August 2020, Popeye sold more than 203 million chicken sandwiches. The company reported second quarter same-store sales in August 2020 grew nearly 25%.
Inspectors keep flagging holding temps because small dips add up to big risk. Cross-contamination starts at simple points: the cutting board, the shared tong, the glove that never got swapped. Hand-washing fails when timing falls apart and the steps shrink to a rinse. You now know how the brand story gets staged: the porch swing replaced by the stopwatch. Next time you order, watch the heat lamp, the glove changes, and the pace at the sink. The red flags show up fast if you know W. Authenticity is a story until the temperature log says otherwise. The truth is, safety is the real recipe. You eat trust with every bite, and trust lives in thermometers, clean hands, and hot holding that stays hot. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who eats fast food on autopilot. Ask for a fresh batch. Watch the gloves. Skip sides that look like soup. You might want to check the steam table before your order lands in the bag. Next, we test which chains pass the thermometer test during rush hour and which ones blink.